welcome to the first episode, Live to Inspire. I'm Denise, and I have a Dr. John Jacob here with me, and he's an author of this wonderful book. What is the name of the book?
XY Theory. How relationships end before they begin.
Perfect. So we're going to talk to you about relationships, and that's a perfect time because it's Valentine's time here. Yay! Okay, so tell me a little bit about this wonderful book, how this can help to people save relationship, make relationship, keeps relationship. So please tell me about it.
Well, we've known for several years that people tend to act differently when they're starting a relationship from how they are when they're inside of it after years of being together.
Right.
And we've assumed that, we put our best foot forward when we're dating to win that other person over to our side, to get their heart, so to speak. And once we've gotten that, then we can relax and be who we really are.
Yes.
But what we've discovered in our research lab is that there are actually two distinct different personality types.
And they are?
Social personality, which we've known for some time. And that's a personality that you see when you go to a party, when you have a staff party, or you have a get-together with friends. And someone might be sociable, very likable, very talkative.
Right.
And then you assume that this person is, the way you see them.
Yeah.
You become interested based on what you see in the social arena. And then you strike up a conversation, you get that first date. The person seems the same because they're still very amorous and very romantic.
Right.
But then 3 months down the road, the person seems to change. And you're thinking, well, what happened? Why did you suddenly change on me? Well, what I've discovered from 5 years of research is that we also have a relationship personality, very separate from the social personality.
Well, that's very interesting.
And it comes out then either to make or break that relationship. So it's pretty much what you bring or what you brought to the relationship from the start that determines how it's going to end. Not so much what you do in between.
Wow, that's fascinating. So tell me about the personalities, like the X and Y.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Okay, X really represents a high need. So when I use the letter X, I'm talking about a high need for either communication or for intimacy. So X's tend to want another partner that has those needs as well, high need, and is also willing to give. It's a kind of give and take.
Oh, but that's good. That's healthy, right? Give and receive.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect, yeah.
But here's the problem. Most of us are attracted to the opposite. Opposites attract.
Right. That's what I taught. That's how you get attracted to someone.
Exactly. Now, so if you were a high X type personality, you would, for instance, want to hear from me every day. You'd want me to call you at work and find out. A lot of texting.
Love you a lot.
Yes, yeah. And I would want to have you do that too. I mean, call me up, find out how I'm doing. It brings us closer.
Right.
So it's about bonding.
Yes.
And that's what X types want. It's what they give and it's what they want back.
Right.
But here's the dilemma. If an X is saddled with a Y type person in a relationship, that Y type person doesn't feel the same way. In fact, after a little while, that Y type person feels bothered. Feels, well, why are you calling me at work? I'm going to see you at the end of the day.
Right. They're a little more...
A little more reserved, they want a little more distance, and it's about emotional distance. So the Y type person thinks to themselves, you didn't need to text me 5 times today in the middle of my job. In fact, what we've even discovered is like when I go to groups, when I speak to groups, sometimes I ask them to see their phones. I say, let me see your cell phone. And then from the cell phone, I can tell if you're an X-type or a Y-type personality.
Can I give you my phone?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do it after this episode. Yeah,
it always works. It always
works.
You have X-types being the ones needing the unlimited plan. So another thing I do in the groups, I say, okay, show hands for all of those who have an unlimited plan.
I'm starting to know where I'm putting the people I know and myself.
Exes need unlimited plans because they communicate so much more.
Yeah, they're more... can we say they're more passionate?
Oh yes, absolutely. They're more emotional. They're more passionate. They're more expressive.
Right.
Sometimes
do they say it as they feel it?
Yes, that's also, I have a whole section in the book on that. They actually have a straight conduit, straight from the brain to the mouth.
That sometimes not good, huh?
That's not a good thing, but whatever they think, they feel the need to share. I mean, that's just how they bond.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah, it's how they bond.
But in this world, I think, you kind of have to sometimes think before you talk. Before you speak. You can get into a lot of problems. Yeah.
So Y types are the opposite. You would text a Y type person and you would give them a paragraph, let's say, in your text, and you'll get back one word.
Huh?
Yes. Sometimes you don't get a word. Sometimes you get K for okay.
K, okay.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then you feel, as the X type person, you feel, it leaves you feeling a little, oh wow, he doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't really care.
Yeah,
and
like he seems like he's too cold.
Exactly. Yeah, he comes across as cold.
And you want something from the person. Yeah. Okay.
So what the theory would do, the theory would let the X type person know that your Y type partner is not communicating this way because he's cold or uninterested. Right. This is his personality style.
Oh, I see.
So then you could adjust your expectations. You don't have to end the relationship. You could realize for the first time, well, he's not doing this on purpose. He's not ignoring me on purpose. Y types also like more functional conversation. So think about it.
What do you mean functional? Like,
I'll tell you. In the first 3 months of a relationship, a Y type can talk quite a bit, just as much as the X type. But there's a function to it. There's a purpose behind it. And the purpose is, I want to get to know you.
Okay. So they have a lot to talk about.
They have a lot to talk about. But once those months have gone by and he feels that he knows everything about you that he needs to know, the conversation stops.
Stops a little bit.
And then slows down. And you think he's changed.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed at all. There's no more purpose. There's no more function to yapping every day.
I see. Interesting.
So the important thing is the X-type person will learn all the things that you're thinking, all the signals you're getting from this Y-type person that you are misinterpreting as a lack of or loss of interest or lack of affection.
Absolutely.
Might not be that at all. It's just that he's comfortable now.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
And it's a good
thing. To be more comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so I can see how those types can see a difference.
Yes, exactly. And if they didn't know that this was a personality type, then the only thing that you're left to think is, well, this person is uncaring. This person doesn't really care about me because now he's not talking to me anymore.
So, I understand you have some tests inside
I
do.
I do. I have a lot of tests.
So please tell me about the test.
Okay, first I have, the standard test, which is a self-test, a personality test.
To know what personality type you are.
Right.
Okay.
So you would like to know if you're an X or Y.
I think I know already.
You think you know already? I think I know myself. But we surprise ourselves after and have you take the test.
Okay, I'm going to take the test.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, now notice it says XY here.
Right.
And the reason for that is you will always have 2 letters to your personality. The first letter tells you where you are on the communication scale. And the second letter tells you where you are on the intimacy scale. When I first started researching this, I thought it was only communication that caused problems.
Right.
But
it's the need for intimacy.
But more and more, I had couples saying, well, why don't you look at the intimacy? Because my husband and I, we talk great. Our conversations are wonderful.
Yeah, but that is lacking the other part.
Intimacy part is
and
lacking.
that's really important, communication and intimacy. Oh, it's so important for relationships.
It seems really simple. I mean, these concepts, we've known this for a lifetime. And I could hear people out there saying already, well, of course, you need good communication, you need good intimacy.
Yeah.
We've always known this. But this is different. What this theory is saying is it's about the need, not about the style. We've always known that you should have about the same style in communication, but it's not about that at all. It's actually about the number of words, like how much you communicate.
Yes.
So there are studies out there that say that women communicate 3 times as much as men do.
Gentlemen, yes.
I have spent the entire first chapter of this book to dispel that. And the reason is this. There are several women out there that talk as little as men do, and there are several men who talk as much as women do.
Right. So
we shouldn't cut it across gender lines.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So X and Y, you could be a guy and be an X. You could be female and be a Y.
Yes.
And so it's not about what we've thought about for like 3 or 4 decades, that, you know, men are always a strong silent type.
Yeah.
Well, a lot has changed within the last 10, 20 years.
Yes.
And it's well documented. Lots of research showing that you have probably about 25% of men who use as many words during the day as women do.
Ladies.
Yeah, and same thing for women. You have about, when I tested, about 30% of women who turned out to be Y types. Exactly. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah. I'll find out. I'm not sure yet, though.
I know. So the self-test, at least the test you find, one of the tests you find in this book, actually,
I want to be mysterious.
I think you already are. I think you already are. I haven't totally figured you out yet, so I'm sure you are. So the test will tell you whether you're XX, which means you're high on both communication and intimacy needs.
Right.
Or it'll say you're YY, which means that you're low on both communication and intimacy needs. Or it'll say that you're an XY, which means you're high with communication but low with intimacy.
Okay.
Or you're a YX, which means you're low on communication and high in intimacy. And so it's absolutely important that if you are starting out in a relationship, that you actually go out there and try to find someone that matches
the needs
your
in
needs.
Both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you didn't,
communication.
what you could end up finding is that you have someone that isn't feeling very fulfilled in a relationship.
Yes.
You're feeling like you're holding back.
Yeah.
You know, why is Denise not talking to me
But it's
more?
not necessarily what you feel.
But you're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not deliberately. It's not a malicious thing that you're doing.
Yeah. You're just maybe afraid to express too much.
Exactly.
You know, so, yeah.
And that adds to the mystery, you know.
Yeah.
People always wonder, well, what is it about? I wonder what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Here's another clue that I get when people go out in relationships, and I do a lot of listening when I go to the restaurants, kind of eavesdropping a lot of times. And you can hear one partner asking the other partner constantly, so what are you thinking? So what are you thinking? Well, tell me what you're thinking. Why are you so quiet? And they're doing that because the need isn't being met. Their need for communication isn't being met. Their partner is being too quiet, and they interpret this quiet as something being wrong.
But maybe he's relaxing with his wine and enjoying he's balancing himself
solitude,
after hard work.
The quiet, and being with his partner.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to communicate because he feels the love.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But the ex-partner is not enough. The ex-partner wants to hear the I love yous. Wants to hear, you mean the world to me. They want the hug. I actually had one lady tell me that she hadn't been hugged by her husband for 17 years. She had been asking him for one hug for 17 years, and he said, hugs are for kids.
Oh,
I don't
maybe
hug.
he wasn't raised like she was.
Probably
not.
Not.
Do you think that childhood can...
Childhood does play a factor, but this is how it works. I've noticed that there's some sort of what we call a heritability factor, like a genetic predisposition based on your parents. So in families where you have dad is a Y and mom is an X, you have 2 kids, one kid turns out to be an X, one turns out to be a Y.
Yeah.
I've seen some families where both parents are Ys and all 4 kids were Ys.
Interesting.
You know?
Do you have a sibling?
I do.
And
he is the, I won't tell what my type is. You're gonna have to keep guessing that.
Yes.
But my sibling is the opposite. My dad was a Y, my mom was an X, and I'll just say, my brother is one and I'm the other. And it makes a difference too, because I was closer to one parent and he was closer to the other, and as it turned out, when we tested, we were closer to the parent that we matched, you know, in personality. Now that's the self-test. There's also a matching test in here. And also you can go online to xytheory.com.
Okay.
And you can take the tests freely. Yes. I mean, anyone can go. There's no limit. Many people can go on there.
Yeah, that's
and take
really
the
nice
test.
that you have that option.
Yeah, because I really want people to know what their personality is. You know, whether a book is purchased or not, I want people to be aware.
I'm sure after they take that test, they want this tool. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think
because it will really help them.
Yeah, because after you find out that you're an X or Y and your partner is the opposite, then what? Well, the book will then tell you what you need to do to make it work.
Yes.
what I've encountered a lot is that often there will be one partner who does not want to do the test, doesn't believe in the theory, and so I had to create what I call in the book a reluctant partner test. So it actually allows the person who is willing to take the test to take 2 tests, one for herself and one for the spouse or the partner.
Yeah.
And with 95% accuracy, the results are just as accurate as if
But let me ask you, how would you, if you're in a relationship, how would you tell your partner to do the test? Like, what is the best way? Like, what would you recommend to, like, if I'm interested, you know?
I always like the fun approach. If you tell your partner, okay, here's the test, it's going to tell us if we're compatible or not, they're probably likely to run. You know?
Yeah.
That's not the approach.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, you probably have some great solutions.
Yeah, it's a fun test. Let's try this out.
Let's try it for fun. We'll see.
A lot of people, I've actually encouraged a lot of people to do it like on a date. Because, you know, you can access the website over the internet. You know, over most phones now. And so I tell people, you know, sometimes people are looking for something to break the ice. And kind of...
and they can interact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a conversation going. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I say, you know, put it that way. Don't say, you know, this is going to make or break us, and I need for you to take this test to decide whether or not, you know, to run out that door, you know.
He would run.
He would run, absolutely.
Or she would run, like, no.
Yeah. But in any event, if the partner does not want to take the test, you still can, as long as you know them well enough. Not the first date, of course.
Yeah.
You dated them for a month, 2 months, and you're beginning to detect that there's a difference. Because that's what this is all about. XY theory is about a difference between a man and a woman, or, you know, 2 partners, that begins to make them feel uncomfortable. It begins to make them feel like they're strangers, like they won't be able to connect like they would like to.
I have another question. Because you probably know, what is love? Because everybody wants to know what is love. And me too.
Wow.
Because everybody are different, and we all say it differently.
Yeah.
So please let us know.
And I'll probably say it in the same roundabout way that any other psychologist would. I would say it's connection. I would say it's feeling bonded to someone and feeling that no one else and nothing else in the world matters to that person more than you do.
Yeah.
When you find that person that makes you feel that way, I think you could say that you're well on your way to having fallen in love. On the other hand, scientifically speaking, now we know that a lot of people that feel that they're in love, especially those who say, you know, love at first sight, now we know that that's
attraction.
It's attraction. It's chemicals. Exactly. Yeah. It's hormonal. We even know the hormones that cause you to feel that way.
Yeah.
But those hormones wear off after a few months.
And I heard it's like 2-3 years, right?
Well, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Oh. If you're lucky. But for a lot of people, by the 3rd month, 3rd or 4th month, they're beginning to see so much about the other person that they don't like, that even the hormone begins to wear off.
Yeah.
The infatuation wears off.
Yeah, okay.
Here's another tricky thing that this book helps with. There are a lot of guys out there who have actually gotten addicted to the hormone that causes that initial infatuation feeling. So they actually will date you for 3 months, and then the hormone wears off, and they need to start over again because the novelty, the hormone makes them feel a sense of novelty and excitement. And once that is gone, they're gone. Well, what we found is, Y-type guys, you know, forgive me, but this is what we found. We found that more Y-type guys tended to do this. Yeah, to have that hormone wear off and want to move on to something else.
Really?
So the X-types.
There is research done on this?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
There's a chapter in here called The Chemical Affair, and it actually breaks down the hormones that cause people to fall in love, the hormones that will cause people to stay, whereas some others would run away. Hormonally. You know, as human beings...
So you have that cover in the book?
It's in here. Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
good. Wow.
There are only 3% of mammals in the world that are monogamous, that stay with a partner for life. And they found that it's a hormone that actually causes them to stay, to want to be with this one person for life. And in the absence of that
beautiful.
hormone, it's beautiful, except when the hormone is missing.
Uh-oh.
If the guy doesn't have that hormone, if the male doesn't have that hormone, then he's likely to want to run off. And when they did,
look for the hormone
exactly.
Somewhere, right?
So they obviously did the study on mice, rodents, and other mammals, and they found that yes, the ones that stayed, they were high on that hormone, and the ones that ran away and even left their pups behind, their children behind, and never looked back, were low on that hormone. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, how much of our behavior is chemical? And what would you be prepared to do if you thought that your guy was behaving the way he's behaving because he has a different chemical balance?
This was interesting, and now I want to read this book.
Okay.
But if you want to know and learn more about this book, you can go to livetoinspire.tv, and also you can get the copy there. So thank you so much. It was
welcome.
A pleasure.
It's
and
a pleasure.
You're a master. This is amazing.
Well,
my toe.
I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Bye, guys.